Welcome to this Football Manager 2019 experiment where I'm going to mess around with the new training system on the game. So as you've probably gathered from the video title, I have taken control of Manchester City, and the aim of this experiment basically is to see how they do without having no training whatsoever throughout the season. So what I have done is, from August onwards, from the start of the season onwards, I have, if it lets me click on August, I have removed all of the training. So this is the new training system. You can have 3 different things a day, but I've changed it to rest. A few things it's forced me to do something. So I've done community outreach or team bonding. There's the odd match preview thing, but regular training has been scrapped, and we're going to see how much of an impact it has on Man City's season. In real life, if players didn't go to training for the whole season, they'd get really unfit, and it would have a massive impact on the club, surely, unless they looked after themselves at home. But, they wouldn't know tactics, they wouldn't know anything. So we'll see how much of an impact it does have on Football Manager. I can't imagine it's going to be completely detrimental to Man City's season. They're expected to finish first or second at the very least, really, but they'll probably finish slightly below. That's my prediction. I can't imagine they get relegated. If they do, then great. It kind of shows that training is a massive part of the game. I think it is a bigger part of the game, but I don't think it's as big a part of the game as it is in real life, if you get what I mean. So I have changed it for all the months to get rid of the training. But first of all, really, we do need to have a look at a regular Manchester City season. I'll holiday 3 regular seasons just to see where Man City finish, like if they finish first or second, and then we'll holiday 3 seasons with no training and see how they get on. So the first regular season I holidayed, Man City finished second with 82 points. Remember, I've let my assistant do everything, so Mikel Arteta is basically doing everything for me, so it might have a little bit of an impact on Man City's season anyway. But that's the first regular season for you. The second regular season, they actually finished down in third with only 69 points. Not the best season for them. Are they actually going to win it? I don't know. It might be, like I said, as a result of me letting my assistant take control. But let's have a look at the third season. The third season, they also finished second, just like the first one. Strange, really, because this time around there was 3 teams that managed to get 80 points. Man United finished 1 point ahead of Man City. Obviously, I could have just holidayed 3 regular seasons without me being in control of Man City, but I don't want to. I want it to be as accurate as possible. So we're going to have 3 seasons where I'm in control, let my assistant take control with training, and now we're going to look at the 3 seasons with me in control, letting my assistant take control with no training. Let's see how they compare then. So with the regular seasons, they finished second twice and third once. Remember that. So the first season without Man City doing any training has resulted in them finishing 5th. Strangely, they did actually get 5 more points than one of the regular seasons, but they have finished down in 5th place, which is their worst finish. It's not had a massive impact on them in regards to their position, but they have dropped out of the Champions League places, winning 22 games, 8 draws, 8 defeats, plus 21 goal difference. Not too bad, only 6 points off top spot as well. So it's not had a massive impact on them. It now is the end of the season, so we can't really look at the condition of the players as to whether this is as a result of training or anything, but they don't look too bad. Training-wise, it will be back to normal. I mean, it's pre-season or end-of-season training, I suppose. Let's look at the schedule then to see how they got on. So, started off okay, as you'd expect. I'd expect them to kind of drop off later on in the season, but that's not really happened. It wasn't the best end to the season, I suppose, looking at it. They got to the Champions League quarter-final. They got to the quarter-final of the FA Cup, losing to Bournemouth. How about Carabao Cup? Carabao Cup, they were knocked out in the 3rd round. So it's an okay season, but it kind of shows that training possibly doesn't have a massive impact. You obviously need to train on the game and you'll get lots of benefits from it. But by having no training, they've still managed to finish 5th. They've still got to the quarter-final of the Champions League. Who's got the top goal scorer? Aguero still managed to get 18 goals this season, so it's not too bad at all. So in the second simulation of this experiment, Man City finished down in 6th. This was much worse, only 60 points this time. Not a disastrous season. They've still managed to qualify for the Europa League, but wow, look at Liverpool. 99 points. So they finished 39 points, behind Liverpool. So this was much more dramatic in this particular simulation. They lost 14 games. It definitely had more of an impact this time around, but they still finished ahead of the rest of the Premier League. They're still in the top 6. So it's once again not had a massive impact on them. It does look... Oh, there's injuries, I suppose, here. Aguero's still got 19 goals this season, which is not too shabby at all. Let's look at their results. So they had a much worse start to the season this time around. Picked it up a bit, but as you can see, there's a lot more losses in there. Carabao Cup, how far did they get? They lost in the 4th round to West Ham. Champions League, I think they've qualified out their group. They lost in the FA Cup 3rd round after a replay. They got through to the Champions League semi-final and lost against Spurs in the end. Pretty awful end to the season. They lost against Liverpool on the last day of the season. Eventual winners, of course. But yeah, who won the Champions League? Spurs did actually win the Champions League against Benfica in the final. Interesting final. But there we go. That's the second simulation done for you. So they finished 5th and 6th so far compared to 2nd twice and 3rd. So let's see what happens in the third and final simulation. So in the third and final simulation, they finished 5th once again. This is actually pretty impressive. 75 points. 22 wins, 9 draws, 7 losses. Pretty decent goal difference. Liverpool won the league again, by the way. But yes, that is not too bad. They finished 5th twice, 6th once compared to 2nd twice and 3rd once with them training. So there's not a massive difference there. And in a couple of occasions, they actually got more points. It's just the rest of the league performed differently, I suppose, in some of the simulations. So how much of an impact does training have? I can't guarantee that there were a few training things automatically stuck in there after a few months, I suppose. But I did take control of training. I made sure my assistant couldn't have any say over training. So I decided the schedules for the entire year. And it must have had some sort of impact because, of course, they did finish lower in the table all 3 times. But Aguero scored 34 goals this season. That's really impressive. Let's have a look at the individual results and scroll down. So a bit of a mixed start to the season. Not many draws here. Carabao Cup, they lost in the 3rd round, so they do seem to do quite badly in the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup with no training. But Champions League wise and league wise, they're generally fine. They got through to the semi-final. They won the Champions League with no training all season. Well, and they beat Valencia in the final, which is an unusual final. But that's quite impressive, really. With absolutely no training all season, Man City still managed to win the Champions League. They've still managed to qualify for the Europa League all 3 seasons. Of course, they qualified for the Champions League this year by winning it. And they've done all right in the league. You know, with their wins, with their results, they've done well. We can see that no training does have some sort of impact, but not all the time, because this year they had a very good season. But I hope you found this interesting. I could try it out with other teams. I could, of course, manage a team for the entire season and make sure every week that there's absolutely no training whatsoever and see what happens. But this is just a quick little experiment to see what would happen to Man City. Not a huge amount, really. But thank you for watching it. If you did enjoy it, please leave a like on the video. Perhaps I could do something else, like if a team only did team bonding training every single day, or community outreach every single day, or something like that. I suppose there's different ways. I'm not sure it will have many different results, really. I suppose if we did a mid-table team, it might have more of an impact. Obviously, if we chose a team like Huddersfield who finished bottom anyway, then that would just be a bit cruel, I think. Perhaps I don't know, maybe if we did do like Cardiff City, could they end up with like 3 points because they didn't train all year, or would it just be the same? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know any ideas you have for experiments in the comment section below, as always. Of course, the actual editor and in-game editor aren't out until the 2nd of November, so I can't play around with that sort of thing until then. But I can do other things like simulating into the future and fun little things like to do with training or tactics. But until next time, enjoy Football Manager 2019. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you very soon.